then you can say the anatomical part, that is head, neck and face. So we are starting with this, that is H and F. Today is 18th. We are attempting to cover a lot of things by 31st. So I think it's visible, right? Yeah. So basically, many of your batchmates had asked, how do we start with HNF? If we are watching the videos, we are not understanding. So there has to be some orientation. So if suppose if this is the person, okay, so this becomes the head, neck and face. This is all the head. So it includes the skull also, face also, facial bones. See, skull is actually head plus face, Skull comprises of head plus face bones, and this is the neck. So we will be covering the clinically important topics which are relevant and also the basis. Now first, any structure you take, you first have to see how it is formed. Uska origin kahan se ho gaya, right? What is the origin? Okay, this you have to see. So we know that the answer is in embryology. Now, how do we see embryologically the formation of these structures of head, neck and face? See, most of the structures in the neck, first we will talk about the neck region. Okay, most of the structures in the neck region, okay, they are formed from pharyngeal arches, pouches and clefts. Most, not all. Most of them are formed from arches, pouches and clefts. So one by one we will go into, first we will see the arches, then the pouches and then the clefts. See, these diagrams are a bit complicated, complex. So I have already drawn them for you. So I will be discussing them after I discuss the arches. Arches is an easier diagram. So actually it's diagrammatically very much easy. So imagine that in front of you a person is standing. Okay, I am using just the geometrical shapes. I am not drawing accurate diagram. Okay, I am just using the geometrical shape. So when you are talking of the neck region, okay, so what do you see? The most prominent structure what you feel is the, yes, thyroid cartilage, that is Adam's apple in boys. You call it as the most prominent one, thyroid cartilage. Okay, then could you name any structures in the neck? We had discussed during the thyroid. So okay, thyroid gland. Below this you have the thyroid gland. Okay, then you have the laryngeal cartilages. Yes, absolutely. What else? Yes, muscles of the neck, correct. Muscles of the neck. Yes, what else? Yes, you have a bone here, correct. The hyoid bone. Okay, what else? Here you have the mandible in the face region. Yes, you have the mandible. What else? Yes, what else? Yes, can anyone tell me? Come on. Mandible, hyoid. Yes, the muscles of mastication in the around the mouth. Okay, muscles of mastication. So many structures are there. Now we will see diagrammatically. Okay, one more thing. Inside the pharynx, where the esophagus starts, there is a structure that is called as epiglottis. What does it do? It's above the larynx. It covers the larynx. Yes, so that the food directly goes into the, see, trachea is in front, esophagus is behind. This is a very rough diagram. Okay, trachea, just for your understanding. Don't take it actually. If this is the esophagus, so there is a lid-like structure which is called as the epiglottis. Glossa or glottis is tongue, epi is above. Okay. rather you can say behind, yes, here in the pharynx is the epiglottis. So it covers the trachea, so when the food enters, it allows directly the food into the esophagus rather than it getting stuck up into trachea, leading to, yes, what will happen if the food is choked up into your trachea? You will get a feeling of choking. There will be acute breathlessness. Yes, yes. What happens if there is, sometimes you eat food and it gets choked up into trachea? Actually, it's a bit in the FMT, forensic medicine. There is a syndrome called as cafe coronary syndrome. Just out of curiosity, I am telling you, cafe coronary syndrome. You know what happens? The cafe is in this context. We understand cafe means where the person he goes to the bar plus restaurant wala scene hai. Okay, so bar plus resto scene, and here what happens? The person is drunk, so he has lost most of his, he loses his gag reflex. So what happens? See, if you put your finger inside your mouth, deep inside, beyond till your pharynx, you get a sensation of vomit. That is due to gag reflex, right? The vomiting reflex. Okay. So due to the due to alcohol consumption, the person loses his senses and weak. The reflexes become weak, and so what happens? This reflex becomes weak, and the food it gets choked up here in the larynx. It gets choked up into the larynx, and that is why there is acute breathlessness, dyspnea, and the symptoms are like as if the person has gone under myocardial infarction. That is coronary syndromes. Okay, coronary blockade. It will lead to myocardial infarction, right? So symptoms are like that. It appears as if there is a coronary syndrome for the patient, but actually it is, yes, blockade in the larynx. The food bolus gets stuck up into the larynx, and so this is known as cafe coronary syndrome. So role of epiglottis is very much important. Role of epiglottis here is very much important. So now coming to our main topic of discussion, that is pharyngeal arches. It is one of the SEQs they can ask you for your exams. Now I am diagrammatically drawing. See, can you imagine that? See, I had shown you one diagram. If you remember, this is your neck. This is the vertebrae. I am drawing again a rough diagram for you to understand. Someone there is making noises. Can I mute everyone? Yeah. So if you can see this cross section I had shown you when I was talking about thyroid gland last time, a couple of weeks back when we were discussing about the thyroid gland, we had seen a cross section of the neck. See, this is at the this is at the T3 level, T2 or T3 level. We had seen that there is a thyroid gland here in between, in the middle, and here you have the carotid sheaths, and I told you that we will discuss the deep cervical fascia and all these layers and blah blah blah. And here you had two tubes. This was the trachea and this was the esophagus. So imagine that when you have cut it this way, shall I focus it? Okay. So when you have cut the neck this way, what you see here is this is a deeper section, right, of the neck. That is a T2, rather T2, you can say it's a T1 level. This will be more correct. C7 T1 level. So you don't see the complete thyroid, you will see that there's the two lobes. This is a diagrammatic representation. So this is C7 and T1 section, and what you will see, what I want to say is that this is trachea here and this is the esophagus. So above, this was T2 and trachea is continued from the larynx, right, and larynx is continued from pharynx. Above the trachea you have the larynx, and above the larynx you have the pharynx. So if you take a section above at C7, you will not see this thyroid gland, but I want you to imagine the continuity. Okay, this is the trachea, above is the larynx, and above to it is the pharynx. Okay, so This was the posterior view, right? This is anterior, this is posterior. Hope you can get it. This is the right and this is the left of the person. You have taken a cross section. So what I want to say is, this is the, if you imagine that there's a pharynx here, okay, pharynx above the larynx and the trachea. So if you take a cross section, okay, if you take a cross section, it will appear to you like this, roughly like this. Okay, it is roughly like this. Now this is the anterior part, this is the posterior part. Now this is a hollow tubular structure, as you know. This is a hollow tubular structure. If you see, there are three parts: oropharynx, nasopharynx and laryngopharynx. So these are according to the level. Okay, if you see, this is the nose of the person, these are the lips, and so here is this is the nasopharynx, this becomes the oropharynx, and this is the laryngopharynx. So here it continues as the larynx. Okay, so this is the nasopharynx, nasal cavity, the internal orifice, and then here, and this is the oropharynx, and this is the laryngopharynx. I hope I am able to make you imagine this. You know this. Okay, we were taught this in 12th standard. Nasopharynx, oropharynx. So if you cut it here, this cross section, you will see such kind of tubular structure, and this is the anterior side, this is the posterior side, because this is the nose. So what you see here, what I want you to imagine is that there is, see this, if you are viewing the person this way, okay, and if you are taking a section like this, means this is your pharynx. If you are taking a section like this, what do you see? You see the wall of the pharynx, right? You see the wall of the pharynx. Okay, so this wall of the pharynx, you have this, actually it's a tubular structure, as I told you, it's a tubular structure. So the boundaries, or you can say the wall of the pharynx, they are formed from this arches. Okay, they are formed from this arches, and there are pouches and clefts. Pouch is inside and cleft is outside. I hope I am able to make you imagine this scene. See, this is a tubular structure. Okay, this is a tubular structure, that is a pharynx. Now what you have done, this is the anterior part, this is the posterior part. Can you see it? Wait, yeah. See, this is your pharynx. Okay, this is the posterior part, this is the anterior part. Okay, this is the posterior, this is the anterior. This is the pharynx, this is a hollow structure. So this wall is formed by the arches, and on either sides there are cleft. This is the cleft. Okay, this is the cleft, and this is the pouch. Can you see this bulgy structure? Can you appreciate that there is, on the either side, on both the side you will have this. So this is the bulgy structure, from inside it's a pouch, and between the two pouches you have the cleft, that is the pharyngeal cleft. Hope I am able to make you imagine. So when you see this, what you will see, if you see this cross section, if you see this as a cross section, you will see bulgy structures with cleft, again bulgy structures with cleft, again bulgy structure with cleft. So you have 6 pharyngeal arches. Okay, so this wall, you can see this posterior wall. See, this is a closed pharynx. Now you cut it open like this. So what you can see, this is the posterior wall. So this is formed by the first arch, second arch, third arch, fourth arch. Like this, there are 6 arches. Like this, there are 6 pharyngeal arches. आपण pharynx बद्दल बोलतो आहोत, pharynx बद्दल, आणि pharynx मध्ये pharynx ची जी वॉल आहे ती 6 आर्चेस पासून बनलेली आहे. त्याच्या अवतीभवती दोन्ही साइडला पाउचेस आणि क्लेफ्ट्स आहेत. आतून बल्ज, इमॅजिन दॅट यू हॅव अ बलून, अँड इफ you put your finger inside the balloon, what will happen? It will bulge from outside. Okay, so here this is the pouch which is bulging it out, making it bulge outside, and these are very minor, so you don't see it. This is in the embryonical condition. So between the two pouches you have the cleft. Okay, cleft. I hope I am able to make you imagine this scene. Okay, now, so I will show you the diagrammatic diagram of pharyngeal arches. Okay, pharyngeal arches. So actually it forms a big list of structures. We will see the bone, about the bony structures what are formed, and we will see the cartilaginous structures. Actually there's a big list in the textbook given. You can find it out and you can rectify it for MCQs. You can mug it up for MCQs, but I would like to make you understand this concept. So see, this is the wall of the pharynx. Okay, so inside it will be a endoderm, outside it will be the ectoderm, and in middle you will have the mesoderm. So these are the walls of the show. So if you can see, this is the pharynx. Okay, this is the pharynx, pharyngeal opening or orifice. So now see, these pharyngeal arches, they are a derivation of what? Mesoderm. Endoderm will form what? Pouches. And ectoderm will form the clefts. How I will show you it in subsequent diagram. Now, okay, endoderm will form the pouches. Now you understand this scene. So you understand this scene. So mesoderm, I think this concept is clear, that the mesoderm is going to form what? Mesoderm is going to form the pharyngeal arches, and endoderm is going to form pouches. See, this is the pharynx. This structure is the structure in the adult. These structures what we are talking, arches, pouches, clefts, these are in the embryonical condition. From those different structures they are getting formed. Now this is the pharynx orifice, okay, and here this is the first pharyngeal arch. I am just diagrammatically showing. See, this is a 2D diagram. So this is the tube, you have cut it, this is the wall what you can see, and these are the two, the thickenings of the wall. You are seeing the wall in its complete thickness, okay. So the first pharyngeal arch, it forms the mandible. Why these structure why are they named as arches? Why are they called as arches? See, if you see, the mandible is like they are developed from the arches, so they are in a U kind of shape, in a C or a U kind of shape. Okay, so first arch is going to form the mandible. हमको ये मालूम चाहिए कौन कहाँ से आया, only that is sufficient. Now second arch, what I will do, see, this is the second arch. If you see the structure of hyoid, it is like this. So there is a lesser cornua behind here. Okay, this is the greater cornua. अपन ऐसा देख रहे हैं ऊपर से. Okay, this anteriorly we are viewing. This is the anterior view. So this is superior, this is inferior, this is right and the left, because this is the anterior view. So greater cornua. Okay, greater cornua is like you can say it's a bud-like structure. Okay, sing बोलते हैं ना, horn. So this is the greater cornua, पीछे रहेगा lesser cornua. Okay, and this is the upper half of the hyoid bone. We are talking about the hyoid bone. So this is the upper half and this is the lower half. This is the hyoid bone. Okay, upper half, lower half, greater cornua and lesser cornua. Okay, so you need to understand that when it is forming the upper hyoid, this is the upper hyoid, and lower cornua. See, this is the lower, or you can say lesser cornua, and this is the upper hyoid. This is formed from the second pharyngeal arch. What about the third? It is forming the lower part of the hyoid. Okay, lower part of the hyoid, lower hyoid, and greater cornua. Lower hyoid and this is the greater cornua. Okay, this is all theoretical, not much to concept I have already explained to you. If you are able to imagine how I have drawn it. And the one more thing, now you will say fourth I have written here, sixth I have written. Where is the fifth one? The fifth one actually it is rudimentary, and so the fifth arch I am talking about. Okay, fifth arch. Okay. Now the fourth one it forms the yes, absolutely correct. This is the क्या होता है hyoid के नीचे prominent structure. Yes, it's the thyroid cartilage. So it forms the, see this smaller part of the thyroid cartilage. See, this is the thyroid cartilage, mainly formed by the fourth pharyngeal arch. Fourth pharyngeal arch is forming what? Thyroid cartilage, the main one, and also the epiglottis, what we talked just now about. Cafe coronary syndrome and blah blah blah, all the details. So epiglottis is also formed from this, and some part of the thyroid cartilage, and rest all the cartilages of the trachea, that is the cricoid. Okay, I'll just name those. Arytenoid. How many laryngeal tracheal cartilages are there? This is also a question. Okay, corniculate and cuneiform. And all those cartilages, these are all formed from the sixth pharyngeal arch. So they can ask you a MCQ question. Following structure forms from the second pharyngeal arch except. Okay, this way the question, or dash is formed from the first pharyngeal arch. Mandible, lesser, the lower hyoid, upper hyoid, or thyroid cartilage. Then you have to write its mandible. Okay, these are all developing from the mesoderm. Remember this. So simple formula, what you have to remember, the pharyngeal, see I'll write PX, okay, short form, pharynx ka. Pharyngeal arches are formed from mesoderm, and pouches are formed from endoderm, and the clefts are formed from ectoderm. This you can remember and it's simple for you. Now one more thing you have to remember, that the skull bones, this mandible, and the hyoid, the skull bones, oh, we have just 10 minutes. Okay, we'll hurry up. So these skull bones are formed. See, one concept you should understand. I will use some other colored pen. Do I have it? Okay, red color here. See, the skull bones, this is mandible and the hyoid. It's not visible to you. Okay, we'll use this one only. The skull bones, that is the mandible and the neck bone hyoid. The skull bones are mostly formed from the neural crest cells. Now you will say, ये neural word आ गया, मतलब it is ectodermal, and we have said that structures of the pharyngeal arches, whichever have formed, they form from the mesoderm. Now I will tell you one concept. See, mesoderm is primary and secondary. Okay, I'll focus it. Wait, see this. It is primary and secondary. Primary is the para-axial mesoderm, मतलब original mesoderm के आजू बाजू वाला, para-axial. And the secondary mesoderm is nothing but neural, from the neural crest cells. Now what are these neural crest cells? Neural means you understand that it is related to nervous system. Nervous system develops from ectoderm, so it is from the ectoderm. You will see this when we will discuss in detail about the development of face next time. But this is about, it develops from the ectoderm, and this is, yes, correct, this is a mesodermal structure. Now para-axial mesoderm is the primary mesoderm, and secondary mesoderm comes from the neural crest cells. So these neural crest cells contribute, which are the secondary mesoderm, are you able to see? These neural crest cells, which are the secondary mesoderm, they form most of the skull bones. Okay, they form most of the skull bones, and the muscles, for example, the muscles of mastication and all these are formed from, that is the skeletal muscles, they are formed from the paraaxial mesoderm. So this is about the, I'll take a screenshot of this. This is about the, this is about the pharyngeal arches. Now talking about the, see. If there are 6 arches, then how many pouches are you expecting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correct? Yes or no? Like you are having a thread, and if you have cut 5 times, you will have 6 pieces. So these are the arches and these are the pouches. Are you understanding? Yes. Now these 5 pouches, and how many clefts? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You have 5 clefts. Okay, 5 pouches and 5 clefts. Now I have a diagram for you, but first you need to understand what are these parts. I'll show you one diagrammatic diagram which I got from the internet. I saved it to my phone. Just a second. Yeah, see, can you see this? Have you ever seen a baby? We studied about the evolution chapter in 12th standard. One of the, lots of marks, weightage chapter. Lots of marks to be for that chapter. Now, if you see this child developing, I'll use the pointer. See, if you see this, if this is an embryo developing, the head, okay, I'm using the pointer, this is the head, so this is the neural tube, okay, then this will turn into this lower part, and these are the pharyngeal arches. Okay, you see this pharynx, this is the gut part, they have shown the aorta also. Here there will be this is the pericardial and the liver protrusion, or rather you can say elevation. Okay, and this is the connection with the allantois. Okay, this is the connection with the allantois, and this is the limb, lower limb, you call it as a limb bud, and here you actually have the upper limb but not shown in this diagram. So if you can see this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, can you see? These are the, see, this we are seeing from outside. So I will show you, wait. So this is the blue color I am having. See, this 1, this 2, this 3, this 4, this 5 and this. These are nothing but the pouch. This is the, from outside if you see, these are the clefts. And if you take a cross section, coronal section, you will see the pouches, okay, inside. And what you are seeing here, I'll show you in green. See, this 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and this here 6. What you see, these are the neural, not the neural tube. These are the correct. These are the pharyngeal arches, and these blue colors are the clefts, and inside you will see what? Absolutely correct. I have one more diagram for you guys. I'll show it to you, just a second. Yeah. Yes, see this, the better view. Can you see this? Can you appreciate? See, they have shown you which nerve is supplying which pouch, which arch, and till the end this is the scene. The structures which develop from these arches, as we have seen right now, they are supplied by these nerves only. If you see, the first arch is supplied by, and use the pen, I'll use the red color. See, first arch is supplied by trigeminal. Okay, first arch. The second arch is supplied by the glossopharyngeal. Is it correct? No, I am not. See, second is supplied by facial. And this is the third one. Glossopharyngeal supplies the third one. See, can you see this is 3? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. That this is the first one, this is the second arch, this is the third arch, this is the fourth arch, and this fifth is obliterated, and this is the sixth arch. I mean, this what I have marked is the nerve which is supplying these arch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth one is rudimentary, and this is actually the sixth one. Okay. So first one is supplied by trigeminal. The mandibular branch, this is the most precise answer. So if they ask you an MCQ, which nerve supplies the first arch, pharyngeal arch, or for example, they will ask you that which nerve supplies the structures, for example, the mandible, which is derived from the first pharyngeal arch, the answer is mandibular branch of the trigeminal nerve. Now, for this, you should know all the 12 pairs of cranial nerves. You should know the names, right from 1st to 12th. There are 12 pairs, 12 on each side. So, they will supply as 12th. See, this is not the 12th one. This is the 5th one. This is the 7th one. I think I need to mute. Someone is making voices from behind. Yeah. So as you can see here, that this is the 5th that is the mandibular branch of the trigeminal, which is supplying the first pharyngeal arch. This facial nerve is supplying the second pharyngeal arch. Glossopharyngeal is supplying the third pharyngeal arch. Vagus is supplying the fourth, and sixth, you can say, is supplied by recurrent branch of vagus. Now this fourth is also supplied actually by the superior laryngeal nerve, which is a branch of the vagus nerve. Okay, and recurrent laryngeal nerve supplies the sixth one. Okay, so I'll take a screenshot of this. It will be useful for you to understand. Okay, I hope you have understood this. I'll post it on the group. Still I can hear some noises from behind. It disturbs everyone. Please mute your cell phones for this mic. Okay, so coming to the diagrammatic diagram. So as I said that it's a complex diagram, and if I draw it, it will take some time. So basic concept you should understand: 6 arches, 5 pouches from inside and 5 clefts from outside. From the 6 arches, 5th one is rudimentary, and about the 5 pouches, the 5th pouch is rudimentary. Getting this? 5th pouch is rudimentary. Now I will show you the diagram and I'll explain you in that diagram itself. It's very simple. Yeah, see this diagram. See this diagram. What I have written, floor of pharynx, means what? This is the anterior view. I have written here. This is the anterior view. So सामने से तुमने सामने वाले आदमी को ऐसा कट किया. Coronal section. You know the coronal suture where it is. You have learnt it in the 12th standard. So we have taken a coronal section, and what we are seeing is the posterior wall of the pharynx. That is the floor of the pharynx. Floor of the pharynx. Now what? See, floor of the pharynx. Now if you see, if you take a adult human, and if you cut his throat, and if you see, you will not see this. This we are talking of the embryo, my dear friends. For just understanding what is the view, I am telling you pharynx, bar. Okay, this is about the embryonal pharynx, PX pharynx. Okay, this is about the embryonal pharynx we are talking about. So please don't mess it up, mix it up, and don't fix it in your mind incorrectly. So this is the embryonal what do you call, embryonal floor of the pharynx. This is the anterior view. So if you take a cut section, then you will see such kind of figure. See, I showed you. See, this was the baby and these were the arches. So if you take a cut section like this, what you will see? You will see elevations on the either sides. और फ्लोर तो फ्लोर के जैसा रहेगा, correct? Now if you see, I have drawn this. I will. Just a second. See, if you can see, I am trying to zoom it for you. Can you see this? The pink marking and the blue marking. Can you see? See this. I will show you with the pointer. See, this is the blue marking on the outside. See this outside, light blue, and inside it is pink. So this pink is the endodermal part, which is nothing but the pouches, pharyngeal pouches, and this outside structures are the ectodermal part, that is the pharyngeal clefts. So this you can see the complete thickness of the pharyngeal arches. Can you see this inside where I put the pointer? This is the first pharyngeal arch. I have also labeled it here. Can you see? Wait just a minute. So this was the cut section I was telling you about. This is the cut section. Now wait for a while. I will zoom it out. See, I will take a screenshot of this first. Now I will remove all this. Yes, now you see. Yes, now if you see, very clearly you will be able to see that I have already labeled. These are the arches. Ectoderm गलती से आ गया, रुको. See, these are the 4 arches. Okay, 5th is already obliterated and this is the 6th arch. And what I have labeled, encircled the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the pharyngeal clefts, as I have already told you that these are the clefts. Okay, outside. Can you see this? Blue color. And inside you have the pharyngeal pouches. Can you see this? See, I have written it here. Just a second. See, I have labeled it below in this diagram. See this, outside is pharyngeal clefts, inside is pharyngeal pouches. Okay, and this arches, as I told you, see these arches, ये बीच का जो part है, this is formed from the mesenchyme. Okay, that is the mesoderm. Okay, so this is the cleft, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4 clefts, pharyngeal pouch, and this is a cartilaginous element, pharyngeal arch nerve, pharyngeal arch artery. तो जो भी structure बनेगा उसको blood supply, nerve supply तो चाहिए ना. So this is the diagram. Hope you understand. And these are all the structures inside which are going to form from the endoderm. Okay. Now I will show you another diagram. Hope I am able to convey it to you. One more diagram and everything is resolved. Very simple. Yes. See, this is a very important diagram. If you draw it in the examination, exam will be very happy. And forget about the exam. If you try to, imagine this diagram and keep it in your mind, you will never go wrong with the structures. Okay. See, now don't see the diagram. See only what I show you in the diagram. Because if you see, you will get messed up. You will get confused. Okay, now see this. See, as I told you, the previous diagram which we saw, you saw like this. Yeah, ऐसे. Okay, this is one side. Similarly, on the other side also. Okay, so this is the cleft. This is the pouch. और ये endoderm है बीच में. And this is the mesenchyme. I'll show it in green. This is the mesenchyme. Okay, this is what you saw. Now this gets modified to this diagram. Okay, this gets modified to this diagram. And what happens? See this. This is the mesenchyme only. See, I will show you with the pointer. You see red color pointer. This is the mesenchyme. This is also the mesenchyme. This all thing is mesenchyme. Okay. Now you see this. Where is the pointer? Yeah. This is the. Yeah. This is the first pharyngeal arch. This is the second pharyngeal arch. This is the third pharyngeal arch. Okay. This is the fourth. See. This is the fourth pharyngeal arch. अब तुम ये देखो, एक सेकेंड, थोड़ा सा और फोकस किया. नाउ सी, I will see the structures which I have showed in pink. This is the first pouch, this is the second pouch, this is the third pouch, this is the fourth pouch. Gradually from this, this old, what the previous structure, what we saw previous diagram, which I have drawn it here on the right. From this, it gradually, as per development, it grows into this structure. Okay, it grows into this structure. And now this is the first cleft, and this mesoderm of the second pharyngeal arch, it grows more and it obliterates the second cleft, third cleft and fourth cleft. So what it becomes? It becomes like a blind sac with one opening. And any structure with blind sac and with one opening only, we call it as the sinus. So this second cleft, third cleft, fourth cleft, they form the sinus. That is because of the overgrowth or the growth of the mesoderm. This is normal, this is not abnormal. This is normal growth. Mesoderm overcomes them and it obliterates these clefts to form a sinus, and this is called as cervical sinus. See, I have written here. I will zoom out for you. See, I have written this. Can you see? I am showing the pointer. Wait. See, this is the cervical sinus. Okay, first what we will do, we will see one by one. What is the fate of the clefts and what is the fate of the, what is the fate of the correct pouches. I have taken one more screenshot for the comparison. Now I will see, we will remove all this diagram. Now you see this. We will talk about the cleft first. See this first cleft on the either side. Can you see the first cleft? See, this is the first cleft here. This is the first cleft here. This forms the external auditory meatus. तुम्हारे कान का छेद. External auditory meatus. And the second, third and fourth, as we know, these clefts get obliterated. See, I have written here. The second arch का mesoderm, it grows like this, and it obliterates. And this opening, one opening, single opening, such structure we call it as a sinus. I have already written it is called as a cervical sinus. And this cervical sinus, this opening also gets obliterated and it turns into a cyst, a cavity with either fluid or no fluid present. Simply a cavity with no opening, nothing, it is called as a cyst. And this also eventually disappears. This is all normal. But what is the applied anatomy here? Very, very important. If the cyst does not disappear, so this is in the neck region, no, pharynx what we are discussing. So pharynx, if you see this cyst eventually disappears, so if you put hands on your neck, so you feel as if there is some space. मतलब हमारा गर्दन इधर अंदर है ना, just below the chin, if you see, there is it seems as if there is some space inside like this. So this is nothing but this cyst gets gayab, the cyst also disappears. But if it does not, then it is called as the branchial cyst. Okay, it is called not branchial, sorry, brachial. No, branchial cyst. Brachial cyst. Branchial is different. I'll write it for you. Spelling mistake should not happen at all. I'll write it in yellow. See, it is called as brachial cyst. Okay, this, if it does not appear, if it does not disappear, if it fails to disappear, it will form the brachial cyst. How much time? Okay, we have to hurry up. Okay, brachial cyst. Understood? Now you see this. So we saw about the clefts. What did we see? We saw that external auditory meatus is formed and these get obliterated to form the cyst, which also disappears. First sinus, then cyst, then it disappears. If it does not disappear, it is called a brachial cyst. It's an anomaly, and there is a surgical answer to this anomaly. Now let us see what happens to the pouches. Now I will draw. See this pink color, can you see? Now I am drawing it in yellow. First, second, oh, what happened? Someone is playing mischief. See, this is the first pouch, second pouch, third pouch, and fourth pouch. Okay, see this Roman number what I have written first, second, it is nothing but the pharyngeal arch, and inside you see the pouches. Now, what you see is what we saw, there are 6 pharyngeal arches, so there will be 5 pouches. But see this, I will zoom it for you. Wait, see, oh, we have to clear this diagram, okay. Now see, this is the first pouch. Wait, and use the pointer. See, this is the first pouch, second pouch, I have written here third pouch, fourth pouch is this fifth pouch. But this fifth pouch is actually rudimentary. This fifth pouch is actually rudimentary, and it forms a vestigial remnant structure that is called, we will go ulta, okay. It forms a remnant structure that is called as the UBB, that is ultimobranchial body. Okay, ultimobranchial body. This is the vestigial remnant structure of the fifth pharyngeal pouch. It is rudimentary, as I have already written. You don't see to the other details. Now you come to the first fate of the first pharyngeal pouch. Can you see the first pharyngeal pouch? Yes, here. What is it forming? What I have written here? Primitive tympanic cavity. Tympanic cavity means basically what do you have? I have written middle ear cavity and the eustachian tube. Can you see? See, primitive tympanic cavity means it is forming what? It is forming middle ear cavity and eustachian tube. Now, as you know that, just a second, yeah, as you know that what happened? Yeah, as you know that the eustachian tube, it connects what? The middle ear and what? Yes, it connects the pharynx, that is in the lower to the nasopharynx region. Okay, lower to the nasopharynx. What is my final exam viva question was, identify eustachian tube in this cut section of the skull. Okay, examiner asked me, and in the sagittal section I had identified, she asked me what is the use or what is the role of eustachian tube. It balances the air between the ear cavity, that is the middle ear, and the pharynx. Now, so what we see that this first structure, yeah, this, just a second. So this first pouch is forming primitive tympanic cavity. Now what you saw, this first cleft is forming external auditory meatus. ये बाहर का, okay, ectoderm, this is outside. Same here, on both the sides it is there, not only just on one side, just I am writing on one side. Okay, this ectoderm, it is forming the ectoderm of the first cleft is forming the external auditory meatus, and the endoderm, which is lining the pouch, as we already discussed, of the first pouch, pharyngeal pouch, it is forming what? Middle ear cavity and the eustachian tube. So what is this? I will show it in blue color. See, can you see this? What is this? This is the mesoderm of the first arch. What I have shown, see this red color, if you see here, this is the external auditory meatus by the first cleft. This yellow color what I have shown here, this one, it is the first pouch. It is forming primitive tympanic cavity, middle ear cavity. And in between this, what you can see, blue color which I have shown it to you, this blue color is the mesoderm of the, yes, it is the mesoderm of the first pharyngeal pouch, and it is forming nothing but the tympanic membrane of your ear, kaan ka parda, eardrum, tympanic membrane. So tympanic membrane I have written here about, this is the question, actually MCQ question. Tympanic membrane has all the 3 layers. It is you will see the ectoderm also, endoderm also, and this mesoderm also. So this is the fate of first cleft, first pouch, and first arch here. Here, okay, here. There are other fates also. Okay, now next what you can see here is I'll erase all this, or I'll let it be. See, now second structure what you can see, I will again come to the yellow color. We are using yellow color for the pouches. See, what I have written, tonsillar fossa. Tonsils are formed from the mesoderm. Here is the tonsil. I will show it again in blue color. See, this tonsil ये अंदर रहता है. Palatine tonsil, all these tonsils, no? This tonsil, if you see follicular structure, you already studied in general histology. This tonsil is inside. It is lined by a epithelium, and you have the tonsillar crypts. So these crypts are formed by this tonsillar fossa, that is nothing but the second pharyngeal pouch. The lining of the crypt of the tonsil is by the second pharyngeal pouch. It is not the tonsil which is formed from the second pharyngeal pouch. Tonsil is formed from the mesoderm of the second pharyngeal arch. Okay. Now third, what we are seeing, again I'll get the yellow color. See this third, if you can see, I have shown two arrows. One is here, second is here. Okay. So this is the third pouch, right? 1, 2, 3. I'm showing you an arrow. Third pouch. The upper part of the third pouch, this one, is forming the parathyroid. I will erase this line. Yeah. Can you see this? I will erase this also. Wait, we will draw it again. See, this is the parathyroid, upper part. Parathyroid, inferior parathyroid. If you know, there are two pairs of parathyroid, two pairs of parathyroid. Okay, one pair is superior parathyroid, second is inferior parathyroid. So if you see, this is the, ये ऊपर का नीचे बाद में, if you see this here, just a second. Okay. So if you see this here, just a second. Now it is correct. So if you see, this is the inferior parathyroid and this is the superior parathyroid from the fourth pouch. Okay, fourth pouch. So ये बाद में ऊपर नीचे हो जाता है. This is the developmental stage. Okay. So this thymus, it is developed from the lower part of the third pouch and fourth pouch. And as I told you, the fifth pouch is rudimentary. It forms the UBB ultimobranchial body, and it gets merged into the fourth pouch. Okay, as a whole. Fourth pouch as a whole. And now fifth. Now if you see parathyroid, चीजें मनो. अच्छा. अरे यार मेरी. If you see this parathyroid, so you understood this parathyroid inferior. This is inferior parathyroid, superior parathyroid developing from the fourth pouch, and inferior from the upper part of the third pouch, and this thymus is developing from the lower part of the third pouch. Third pouch. See these Roman numbers which I have written, these are the pharyngeal pouches inside, already written. And what I am writing, this we have shown. Don't get confused, please. See, this is the first, this is the second. These are pharyngeal pouches. Okay. Pouch वेगळा आहे, arch वेगळा आहे, cleft वेगळा आहे, confusion करू नका. This is the fourth pouch. Okay, now I'll take a screenshot, I'll save it too and send it to you. So I hope I am clear with the derivations of the first, second, third, fourth pouches. And now there is one applied anatomy. बिना applied anatomy के तो हम कुछ सीख ही नहीं सकते. So what is the applied anatomy? Someone is playing mischief. Please don't do it. See, the applied anatomy is that if this development of the third and the fourth pouch is not there, means what? If it is compromised, then this will lead to a syndrome called as DiGeorge syndrome. it is called as Dye-George syndrome. And Dye-George syndrome, what will happen? See, what is developing from the third and fourth pouch? See, parathyroid and thymus. If there is no thymus since the birth, this is the embryonal development what we are discussing. So if there is no thymus since the beginning, then the T cell training which happens during the embryonal life or during the soon after the birth and all that, during that duration that you can study in physiology, that will not happen because there is no thymus, so no training to the T cell to fight against the bacteria, and so there will be infection, severe infection, because of which the bachu can die. The embryo can die, or after taking birth it can die because it is exposed to the bacteria after the birth, not before the birth. So except for the ones which cross the placental barrier, etc., etc., but otherwise it is exposed to the bacteria after it is born, so it will die because of infection. This is one cause. Second, if you see along with the thymus, there is, I'm using the green color, parathyroid also. So if you know what happens for the parathyroid, we have just 10 minutes, we will finish it fast. So if there is no parathyroid क्या करता है? It is secreting the, just a second, it is secreting which hormone? Parathormone is secreting PTH. So if there is no PTH, then what will happen? There is hypocalcemia. If there is hypocalcemia, what will happen? Tetanus. And tetanus will lead to tetanic spasm, can cause the death of the baby. But to be very true, nor the tetanic spasm, neither the bacterial infection, severe bacterial infection, is the main cause or the most common cause of death in a bachu of Dye-George syndrome. It is the AP, septal defect. Okay, the septal defect, that is the cardiovascular anomaly, it is the main cause of death in the bachu. I will write, shall I write? There is actually no place here, but still I will write. Just a second. Yeah. So, where do I write? I'll write it in blue color. So, it is the cardiovascular anomaly, which is the most common MCCOD, most common cause of death in case of Dye-George syndrome. You may not be understanding, I will share the photographs, you will understand it. You need to study this. Okay, ये थोड़ा हमारा pouch ऊपर नीचे हो गया सब. Yeah, this is correct. Now if you see one more concept, last concept about, so this was the applied anatomy, Dye-George syndrome. So they will ask you MCQs about which structure developed from the first arch, which structure developed from first pouch. Okay, now if I ask you a question that thymus develops from dash pharyngeal pouch, then I will ask you third pharyngeal pouch, second pharyngeal pouch, the upper half, that is the dorsal part of the third pharyngeal pouch or the ventral part of the third pharyngeal pouch. So your answer for thymus, it is going to be third part of the ventral pouch. Ventral pouch, that is आगे का side. Okay, upper side is आगे का. Bachu is bent, no, like this. You saw the diagram, what I was showing, and I gave you the reference of which chapter of 12th standard? Yes, evolution. So you see, the development of the bachu is like this. I'll erase all this. I have already taken photographs. I'll erase all this. So if you see the bachu ka development is like this way. Arey yaar, who is playing mischief? Please don't do it. See, this way it is the development. So this is the ventral, this is the dorsal. So ye upper half or aage ka part, this is the thymus. And this behind part, the pouches I am talking about. Okay, here development. So this what we are seeing is the posterior pharyngeal wall. Okay, it's the floor of the pharynx. Okay, and one last concept which I was talking about is the UBB, that is the ultimobranchial body, which I said that it's vestigial. Now see, If the what is there in the, as you all know that in the thyroid gland you have the C cells, parafollicular C cells. You know the C cells? See, I have written here, parafollicular C cells. Now these parafollicular C cells, actually previously they used to say it is formed from the UBB, that is ultimobranchial body, which is vestigial. Actually, neural crest cells, they go into the ultimobranchial body, and there they form what? Parafollicular C cells. So the most correct answer, that from that parafollicular C cells are a derivation of what? I am marking it in blue. This is neural crest cells. If that is not given in the option, that we can say that it's the ultimobranchial body, because neural crest cells are going to the UBB. If that is also not given in the answer, then you can say that it is the fourth pharyngeal pouch. You will say UBB is a remnant of fifth pouch, as I have written here. But fifth pouch is rudimentary, it goes and merges with the fourth pouch. So fourth pouch is the more correct answer. And if fourth pouch is also not given in the option, then you can write the fifth pouch. So most precise and correct answer is neural crest cells, one. Second, if that is not given in the option, then second, that is UBB, ultimobranchial body. If that is also not given in the option, then it is the fourth pouch. This is the option I am saying, and this is the fourth pharyngeal pouch. This should be the answer. And if that is also not given, then the fourth answer or the fourth choice could be the fifth pouch. This is option. Please don't confuse. Okay. So this is the sequence of this. So this is all about what parafollicular C cells develop from. Understood? So I hope I have talked about the pharyngeal arches, pouches, and the clefts. And I hope I am able to give justice to the answer and make you guys imagine whatever I wanted to say. And brachial arch anomalies. Okay, this, see, you can see we did not see about the structures developing from the endoderm of the pharyngeal arches. It is not actually pharyngeal arches. The endoderm part, if you see this in the pharynx, you have not seen what are the structures developed. So they are the tongue, they are the thyroid, and we will discuss them when we are talking about those chapters. When we are discussing about tongue, we will see the embryology of tongue. At that time, you need to recall this diagram. I will show it to you again. Thyroid also, we already discussed thyroid, but still we will discuss sometime else. And so for today, we end the session. If you have any doubts, you can please ask. Otherwise, we can end the session. Thank you very much.